We are very excited to have as our special guest on the show. She is the superintendent for the Honouliuli National Historic Site. Please welcome Christine Ogura. Welcome, Christine.
Aloha, Jessica. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to join us. Tell us about the site.
Well, Honouliuli National Historic Site is a national park, and this year marks 10 years since it was established as a national park. It is the largest and longest opened incarceration site during World War II that held predominantly Japanese Americans, but also had Italian and German Americans held there. In addition to that, it was a mixed camp in that it was predominantly prisoners of war. There were over 4,000 prisoners of war when the camp was opened from 1943 to 1946 that were primarily composed of Okinawans, Koreans. So these were people that were forced to join and support the Japanese Imperial Army. And of course, the Axis countries of Italy and Japan were also prisoners of war there.
Now, the Japanese internment camp that you're talking about in Ewa Beach, Honouliuli, it was a dark time in our history that something like that happened. However, Christine, you mentioned to me that there are some inspiring stories that actually happened in the camp. Of course, none of us wanted anybody to be in the camp. And yet there were some of the people there who showed resilience even in times of darkness. Can you share with us about some of those stories?
Yeah, absolutely. I think part of what we're doing this year, again, it is a 10-year anniversary, is we're trying to share a lot of those stories. These were people. These were mothers, fathers, sons, brothers, sisters. They had families, they had wives, and they were taken to this prison for no reason, just because they looked like the enemy. And the Japanese Americans that were held there called it Jigokudani, which translates into Hell's Valley, because it was just humidity-ridden, hot, full of mosquitoes. And they really had to survive every day to ensure that they got to see their family members. And I think your show talks about the power of positivity. And it is a dark part of our American history, but it was the human resilience of what they did. So for example, they crafted crafts for their children who were able to come and visit them once or twice a month. Dads would make wooden toys for their children and be able to give them the toys when they saw their kids. Another great way that they showed the human resilience was through music. They played ukulele, they played violin.
The violin, we had a violin player on our show. And so in the park, at the Japanese internment camp, music was used, the violin was also used to uplift their spirits.
Absolutely, to get them through every day, keeping memories of their families alive until they didn't know when they could go home. So yes, they learned how to play the violin. Actually, in fact, this year we're partnering with the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra to feature one of the violins that still remained. It's an artifact. And so we actually have a violin that was used by someone incarcerated at Honouliuli, and we're partnering with the Hawaii Symphony to be able to showcase that violin, to have some partnerships to be inspired by the violin later this year.
Yeah, that's wonderful that you're able to do that, and you still have that violin. Yes. What is it like for you, Christine, to when you're looking at the history of the Japanese internment camp? It must be very painful to go back in time, to think about that time when people were taken to the internment camp for no other reason other than the reason you said. And what's it like when you're looking at these stories?
Yeah, I think I go back to what hits me is that these were real people. And I think that's that's the sad part, is that they were living their lives, taking care of their children, working to bring, to send their kids to school. And they didn't know why they were being arrested. I mean, their arrest happened shortly after Pearl Harbor, when the territory of Hawaii came under martial law, which makes the Japanese American experience in Hawaii very different from what happened on the continent. And so they were taken for no reason, and they didn't know why. And I think learning the personal stories of these individuals is probably what has struck me the most.
Yes. Now, When will the park be opened? I know you said in sometime next year. Can you be a little bit more specific?
Yes, well, I'm really hoping early part of next year in the spring. And the best way to learn when that's going to be available is visiting our website. We also have Facebook and Instagram. We will definitely be announcing that. But yes, my goal is hopefully January of 2026, we'll be able to provide limited public tours to the park.
Wow, that's not that far away. Yes.
Yeah.
Christine, as you know, the name of our show is Inspire You and Me. What inspires you?
Well, I think with the work that I do, what inspires me are all the descendants I've been able to meet. They've been so gracious to open themselves to me, share about their loved ones and their family members. And they really inspire what I do every single day because I want to make sure the memories of their loved ones had meaning. The pain that their family suffered of what happened to their loved ones is not forgotten and has meaning, and that we can all learn from what happened there at Honouliuli.
Absolutely. I want to thank you. And I also want to thank Jim McCoy. He is your communications director, and he does a great job. And I want to thank Jim for also bringing you here to inspire you and me. Jim was also a guest on our show. It's really been our honor and our pleasure to have you with us today.
And thank you, Jessica, so much for giving me this opportunity to share this important history with our communities.